Hey everybody, it's Tony George along with Scott Spreitzer. This is a marquee matchup, bowl season edition. Bowl starting this weekend, Scott. Be sure to get over to DocSports.com, claim that free $60 to get yourself hooked up with one of the 12 cappers over there for your bowl season needs. And we're going to start out with one this weekend here. SMU, big story all season long, started out 8-0, ranked in the top 25. Sonny Dykes doing a hell of a job. And, of course, FAU started out with a couple of tough games and then came back, won 10 out of their last 11, and all 10 wins by double digits. Lane Kiffin exits the building again, and he's off to Ole Miss, and Glenn Spencer, defensive coordinator, steps in. Willie Taggart in the wing, Scott. And, of course, Sonny Dykes bringing a good team in here as well. A lot of interesting dichotomies between these two teams. The line is FAU, by the way, playing in their home stadium in the Boca Raton Bowl, +3 against SMU. And, of course, Shane Buechele, who used to play for Texas, now the great quarterback for SMU, the Stangs, coming in here as a slight favorite.
You know, when you watch what's going on here and you're trying to handicap the Bulls and figure out who's motivated, who's not, where the game's being played, all that kind of good stuff, you've got contradicting situations or tools for handicapping the Bulls in the same game on the same team.
Yeah.
You've got, as Tony just mentioned, Lane Kiffin has taken the job at Ole Miss. He's already left the program, and you've got an interim coach. Willie Taggart will take over after the bowl season at FAU, which, by the way, I think this is a great spot for a guy like Willie Taggart, who is a good X's and O's guy. He was just in over his head a little bit at Florida State. Man, you got to win 10, 11 games a year there. Getting to bowl games is not going to suffice that crowd or those alums. But as far as this is concerned, you've got that situation going on, which of course plays against FAU potentially. But as Tony also mentioned, they're on their home field in Boca Raton, which plays to FAU if you're handicapping the Bulls over the years. Now, SMU's got to deal with all this, but FAU also has a quarterback who has thrown for over 3,400 yards on the season, 26 touchdown passes. He can light up any defense that he goes up against. We'll see if he gets the same kind of direction that he got before Lane Kiffin left. If he does, I think they put up a lot of points, as does SMU in this game. They're third in the nation in points scored per game, about 43 points per game over the course of the season. If everything falls into place, if the wind isn't going crazy in Boca, I think you got a real good shot at this going over 70.5 as we speak. That's where the total is. Here's a real quick note. It does rain sometimes in Florida, I'm sure you've heard. And if that causes a little problem, slippage on the field, that's actually in favor of the offenses if the situation is out there that it's not blowing all over the place, the wind. So if the field's messed up, the receivers know the routes. They know where they're cutting, they know where they're going, and the defensive backs have to make the adjustments, and that's when they slip and slide. So rain actually helps the offense. I think you're going to see this game get over that total of 70.5.
Well, my question to you is, and I mentioned this in the 10 and 10, be sure and tune into that, by the way, but the identity of this program. You know, there's some teams that carry their coach's identity. Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, Nick Saban at Alabama. Lane Kiffin had his fingerprints all over this program, more so than a lot of other coaches that would leave their programs where there wouldn't be that much of a fallout. And you weigh that against the fact that they're playing at home. So does one kind of cancel out the other in your mind?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's just something that we really can't tell going into this game. What's going to cancel out each other? What's going to come to the forefront? And I do think, though, we are going to see offense by both of these teams. And I think it's a situation where it does get over that total. A lot of times, and you don't handicap the Bulls like you do the regular season. You know that already. But it's a situation where when you see extreme totals, whether they be very low, you look to go under. If they're very high, a lot of times you look to go over. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game here. Again, it's not a premium pick, but it is an opinion on the over.
High-octane offense going up against an SMU defense that was their Achilles heel all year long, giving up almost 32 points a game. They just decided to trade punches on the scoreboard, everybody. It may be the very same thing in the Boca Raton Bowl. Thanks for tuning in to the marquee matchup. He's Scott Spreitzer. I'm Tony George. Find us at DocSports.com for your bowl season needs.